Hey everybody, Onepeg here with an update to the Scav Karma system. So there's been quite a few changes that have come about as a result of, post podcast when Nikita did a podcast for everybody, which I haven't done a summary on, and I also meant to get this out to you sooner. Unfortunately, I've had a little bit of a head cold that gave me a pretty rough sore throat that I'm still not completely out of the woods yet on, but at least now I can speak and not have my voice just shut down on me, which it had been doing for the last week or so. Don't worry, I'm feeling fine. We got it all knocked out. It was just some viral thing that my toddler gave me. So, things happen when you're a dad, right? As we all know by now, for those of you that have seen the pair of videos, if you haven't, I highly suggest going and checking them out. I'll run a couple of banners right here for you so that you can see them if you haven't. I did a comprehensive video on the Scav Karma system, which at the time was pretty much everything that there was to know about the Scav Karma system. I also ended up having a really bad bug where I shot a couple of raiders and lost all of my Scav Karma and ended up having myself at negative 12 fence reputation, which pretty much boned me for the remainder of the wipe because I ended up doing the math and figuring out that it was going to be some 2,000 raids worth of stuff as a Scav in order to be able to get out of the woods. But I'll explain why the other mechanics that are involved in the game don't work in this case and give you guys some more insights now that we've had some time to test out things even further and the community's been able to kind of chip in. Insofar as the bug with raiders, because I suppose that should be the first thing, insofar as that bug, someone from BSG actually reached out to me directly and told me that the bug had been fixed. However, when I talked to other folks in stream chat and stuff, they're still saying that on certain occasions, and I have no idea what is triggering this, they are losing rep still. Like killing a raider is costing them like 0.05. I don't know if they've maybe misconstrued it with a scav guard or if it's actually a raider and they're actually losing rep, but I personally haven't been able to test this. So if you want to kill raiders, kill raiders. If you take negative rep, I mean, you're taking it into your own hands. As far as I can tell, the big negative rep loss that I got came as a result of having max reputation and then killing a raider, and for whatever reason, the game was coded into acting as though I was killing a scav guard, like a boss guard, and cost me all the rep. I don't know. I'm purely speculating. I have no confirmation from BSG. They will not give me insight on this. I have asked multiple times in multiple different ways, and as it turns out, they're also not going to refund my rep, and they won't give me an account reset. So I've started over and started playing the game over again on a separate account. Now, that's not me saying I think that they should in any way. I just merely inquired and was told that they were not going to do it and did not give me any further information or reasoning other than they just said that they're not going to. And that's pretty much where it was left. Second up, karma rates themselves have changed. And I'll give you guys some visual aids so that you can understand a little bit better in terms of what I'm talking about here. So first up, if you kill a peaceful player scav specifically, that is now negative 0.05 rep instead of 0.02. So it's now 2.5 times more costly to kill a peaceful player scav than it once was. If you kill multiple, that is going to scale. So the penalty for killing each player scav is going to go up by 0.05 per kill. So if there are 4 player scavs on the map in front of us here in a nice line, and our first player scav kills the other 3, the first one will be 0.05, the second one will be 0.1, and the next one will be 0.15. It continues to scale up by 0.05 per kill. Again, with the idea that making this penalty be more harsh would deter people from wanting to kill each other. And so far, it seems like it's working. As the clock has been ticking, I have progressively been seeing less and less aggro player scavs. Apparently, people want to keep their rep, and they like their scav cooldowns being a little bit lower. Second, if you kill a peaceful AI scav, that is still 0.02. You're not going to see as large of a penalty killing players as you do AI, but again, this will still scale by that same rate of 0.02. So 0.02, 0.04, 0.06, etc. If you kill a peaceful guard, it is still the same at negative 0.07, and again, scales up per guard. If you are the same player scav and kill a marked or scav betrayer, then you get plus 0.01, which is down from 0.1. It is 10 times less positive rep than what we once were getting. Now, personally, I think that this is a little steep, and I'll go into that in a little bit because I have some math for you guys, but that is currently what it is. And I'll get into the other mechanics here in a second. Third, we have some patched changes. First, if you're in a team and one of your teammates is shot at, If you're in a team with another buddy of yours, if you guys are teamed up, duo, trio, whatever, and one of your teammates is shot at and hit, specifically if they are hit, and the group of you returns fire, if one of the people that was not hit by the offender kills the offender, that person will still take negative reputation. So to better illustrate this, the trio of you engages a single player that shoots at the trio of you first, hitting player 1. If player 2 is the person that kills the offending scav, player 2 takes negative rep, because for whatever reason they haven't been able to figure out the whole team-based mechanics yet in this regard. If your teammate kills a friendly scav, the entire team doesn't take a rep penalty, which is what was at one time, I guess, happening or was happening on rare occasion. They still haven't been able to flesh out the whole idea of a scav having a bullet whiz by them with someone's intention to kill them and then returning fire and winning, because then they take negative rep. None of that has been figured out. So just be careful. Obviously, you guys are taking it into your own hands as to whether or not you decide to shoot any of the other scavs anyway. But if the idea here is that you're trying to rep grind, you want to make sure, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that if you're going to pull the trigger, it's justified, I guess is the best way to put it. Fourth, we have some clarifications. Now, people have been asking me multiple times if you can lose rep as a PMC if you kill raiders, etc., etc. No. As a PMC, you can never lose fence rep. It is not possible. It's not a mechanic that's built into the game. The scav karma or fence rep, however it is that you want to refer to it, is only something that is possible of being lost if you are playing as a player scav. All right? I just want to get that out of the way. As a PMC, there is no way that you can lose fence rep at all. Okay? All right. Secondarily, if you're playing as a player scav, you cannot use a car extract. That is not a mechanic that is built into the game. You can't do it. Even if you have rubles in your pocket, you can't walk up to a car extract and pay the driver of the car to take you off of the map. Whether or not you should be able to is completely separate from whether or not you are able to. And the answer to that question is you are not. So which brings me to the next topic, which is limitations to rep gains on these types of extracts. Duo extracts, which can be done by a PMC or a scav, obviously, because you need one of each in order to be able to extract. They both get a rep reward regardless of who you are. And secondly, car extracts, which we just covered, can't be taken by scavs. I had shown an infographic that looked like this one that showed that the car extracts were something that scaled down and then you were able to get 0.01 kind of moving forward. Now at the time I had said it seemed as though you were able to get 0.01 rep kind of like at infinitum. Just every time that you decided to take the extract, you got 0.01, and that was the minimum no matter what you did. That actually ended up being not true. What it looks like is once you get to the 0.01 threshold, you have about 10 raids, and then the 0.01, I guess, decreases to the point where that 0.01 doesn't get rewarded anymore. The rep reward is lower than that even, so it's not even worth doing. So insofar as car extracts are concerned, it seems like the magic number is somewhere around 18, and I'll explain why. Now, I have personally not tested this because I have obviously been working on other things trying to level up a new character, but Pestily ended up tweeting something about it today, which I confirmed because I had people talking about it in my Discord yesterday. Speaking of which, if you guys want to join the Discord, it's discord.gg/onepeg. Come on down. For duo extracts on each one of the 3 maps that they can be found on, it seemed as though the rep reward for those was 0.2. Now, I had tested this a few separate times. I got the same rep reward each time that I had done it, regardless of which map I was on. It was always the same, and I was on my PMC at the time because doing it as a PMC is easier. But these seem to have been nerfed. Now, the first time that you use it, it seems to give 0.06 and then scales down by 0.01 each time until you get to the 0.01 kind of moving onward, which again seems like it has a limitation of about 10. So after the 10 extracts at that threshold, it seems like it falls off. Now, the lesser-known bounty system also seems like it has been reduced, and I'll try to explain this one. So the old method, if we're talking about Scav A and Scav B. So Scav A is our bad guy, and Scav A goes off and kills 3 AI Scavs, which means that they take rep penalties of 0.02, 0.04, and 0.06, meaning that they have a total negative of 0.12. Scav B, our good guy, ends up avenging the 3 AI Scavs, killing Scav A, and he would in turn gain 0.12 rep because Scav A ended up killing all those other AI Scavs and accumulating this little bounty above their head. Now, this is the same for PMCs, but PMCs don't actually take the negative rep. It just kind of gets held in limbo until someone kills them. In the case of PMCs, though, it only rewarded 0.01 per scav. Well, that mechanic has now transferred over to player scavs, it seems. For each scav that a player scav kills, each peaceful one that a player scav kills, that rep reward, that bounty ends up increasing by 0.01. So in our scenario, if Scav A kills the same 3 AI scavs, they get the same negative penalty, but Scav B would, instead of getting 0.12 as a rep gain, now only gets 0.03. So now that I've gone through all the changes as of today, July 13th, 2021, and again, I have no idea what's coming forward, this is the fastest way as of today to generate positive rep in Escape from Tarkov on your account. First, do each one of the car extracts on Woods, Interchange, and Customs 8 times apiece, which will be a total of 1.74 rep. Second, do all of the duo extracts on Woods, Interchange, and Reserve, a total of 5 times for plus 0.6 rep. 8 car extracts and 5 duo extracts on each map will exhaust all of the reputation gains that are possible that are above 0.01, which leaves each one of these that remain about 10 uses before they're gone completely. So, in order to be able to get those, you need to do each one of those maps an additional 10 times, both for the car and for the duo extracts, which will generate you another 0.6 in total. That brings your total rep gain without any kills to 2.94. If you have EOD, add another 0.2 to that, which brings your total to 3.14. That means for those of you that have EOD, your remaining for max is 2.86 rep. So we multiply this by a factor of 100, and we get to 286. That's the magic number. That's how many scavs or PMCs, assuming none of them went on a killing spree, that you would have to kill in order to be able to get to 6. If you don't have EOD, add 20 to it. If you are negative, add 20 to it, and then multiply whatever it is that you're negative by a factor of 100 in order to be able to get back up to 0. Not an easy feat. Now, it appears that this is being built in a way that is going to assume that the game will not wipe again, when we know it will, obviously, in the future. So it will be kind of difficult to test maximum reputation with Fence if you did grind it in the first couple of days when I was making that video prior to Nikita doing the podcast and then patching all of this in. Secondarily, it also doesn't seem like there's any passive mechanic with Fence that would allow you to be able to generate rep with him. Personally, I'd like to see some type of money sink. It could go a long way in kind of balancing out the economy and making sure that people stay broke. Especially if it's some small, insignificant, or nearly insignificant rep gain that gives you the ability to donate money to him in order to be able to generate it, like 1,000,000 rubles for 0.02 or something. This would enable people the option of being able to sacrifice large sums of money in order to be able to get rep if it's important to them, and for the people that don't care, they don't have to worry about it. Right now, it doesn't seem like there's enough mechanics in the game to really be able to cultivate this. In a beta phase, it feels like the rep growth that is possible in this regard is a little bit too slow, and while you could get to a happy middle ground, it seems like it's going to be really, really grindy on the back end. This also ends up eliminating any type of cheesing mechanics that could potentially be possible, because in order to be able to cheese one account up to max rep, they would end up having their buddies take a significant downfall, unless you were somebody that owned multiple PCs and multiple accounts to be able to flesh that out and just not care. Anyway, if you're still here, coming up in the next few days to weeks, there's going to be a podcast with myself, Dan Exert, Clean, and Iron Fist to discuss Scav reputation and Fence. So tune into that one. I'll give you guys more details in the coming days to let you know exactly when that's going to be. We're just trying to figure out scheduling. Thank you guys for coming and hanging out in the video today. I appreciate you guys for lending me your eyeballs and for the astronomical number of views and huge influx of subs that has happened as a result of all this Scav karma dilemma drama stuff. And thank you. And I'll see you in the next one, okay? Peace.